Now, one of the most difficult positions, if not the most difficult position in football, is the one, the only centre defensive midfield position. That position right there requires defensive solidity. It requires positioning, decision making, subtle movements to draw the opposition. Whether you receive the ball or not, you're just helping your team. I'm going to try my best, as always, to break it down as simply as I can so that you can understand it and then implement it in your next training session and in your next game. So there's only one thing left to do right now, and that is, let's get straight into it. So as that centre defensive midfielder, you have to think like you're the heartbeat of the team. No, actually, not like you are the heartbeat of the team. Everything good goes through you, but also everything bad potentially could go through you as well. So you're putting yourself under that level of pressure with regards to your team's build-up, with regards to your team's possession, circulating the ball from left and right. It's down to you. So for example, when the left-sided centre-back has the ball here, and this is you, why would you run to the ball when you're suffocating the space of that centre-back? What you should do is, as the centre-back steps with the ball, instead of running to the ball, you're staying away. You could even drop to create a makeshift back three with your other centre-back to push your fullbacks higher, and now you've created a back three. If the opposition are playing a 4-4-2, you've created a 3v2 in build-up, and all you've done is drop vertically. Not running to the ball, you're simply dropping. Now, something else that you can do is stand still. Yes, I've just said it. You're standing still. Like a statue. Actually, not like a statue. You are standing still because the opposition would be moving in relation to the ball. So the centre-back could play the ball to the full-back, receive it, goes back to the keeper, goes back here. And if you're also moving while the opposition are moving, you're not able to receive the ball in space. What you should do, in fact, is, let's say the right-back has the ball. You're just standing around here. As the ball goes back, you're still standing. By that, obviously, I don't mean you're standing still like a statue, but I'm saying you're just roaming in this area because there'll be a yard of space for you to receive the ball on your back foot, 2 touches, switch to that side. So, as we said, the ball could go up to your fullback, your centre-back drops off, the 9 might be ready to press the centre-back receives the ball, and now these are the situations where the 10 would be in and around this area, and your job is to receive the ball in behind that line. And then as soon as you see the ball come towards you and you're going to receive the ball behind that line, you're just thinking 2 touches, switch. 2 touches, switch. Receive on the back foot to turn. Now all you have to do right here is watch the one, the only Sergio Busquets. I hope you can sense my excitement because every time I watch him play, anyway. Just notice here, he's standing behind the 2 strikers to receive the ball and bounce it back. And just notice his positioning right here. Is he moving? Yes, but he's not sprinting. He's not running to the ball. He's staying behind the strikers, asking them the question, if you press the centre-backs, then I have the space to receive the ball and play forward. Very simple. Standing behind the striker will help your team. For example, here, Umtiti was being pressed. He received the pass, played it out to Rakitic. Very simple football. Standing literally behind the striker in that centre circle and just camping there, because that's your role as a centre defensive midfielder. Here, he receives the ball in front of the strikers, and now notice what he does. Umtiti has driven forward, so now he's covering them. So, as a centre defensive midfielder, you have to cover and you have to dictate accordingly. Just notice his positioning right now. He's standing behind the strikers, he's walking now, and then he's waiting for his moment. He receives the ball and just pops it back off to PK, but notice he's always trying to receive the ball behind the 2 strikers, and that could be behind the number 10 or the number 9 or both, for example in this scenario. Here he's involved again, wins his team a foul. Once again, notice his positioning, standing directly behind the striker because now he can receive the ball, and because he's thinking 2-3 steps ahead, he can play that forward pass. Right here as well, excellent movement, almost standing still basically to receive the ball and play. And if we just break this bit down, just notice you have the 2 players and he's standing behind those 2 players. So when Mascherano steps with the ball, he's able to receive the ball and then break that line into Iniesta on the far side pocket. And notice he's walking. He's literally walking, waiting for the ball. He's not running. He's not sprinting to the ball. He's not doing anything. He's thinking 2 steps ahead because he is playing with his brain right here. He's just backpedaling to open up the space, and now notice he's receiving the ball behind that line as we've just discussed. 2 touches, thinking 2-3 steps ahead, finding his attacking midfielder in the pockets. Now sometimes the opposition would be very smart and the 11 would drop off to this space, so you have to be aware. You don't want to be thinking, okay, I'm going to play my number 8 under pressure. If the 11 is dropping off here, then 2 touches out to the fullback. And then what you're going to do is, hopefully your left-sided centre-back has dropped. You're just going to roam in and around here. with the 10 following you. If the 11 presses the fullback turns, plays back to the centre-back. And now this is the situation where you don't run to the ball. What you do is you move away. You move away and you ask the number 10 the question, are you going to follow me? Or are you going to press? If you're going to press the ball, I am going to create a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4v2 scenario in build-up. So then, for example, my goalkeeper could get the ball, the 10 could press the keeper, and then I get the ball in so much space. Just look at that. And all you've done is not move, right? Actually, you have moved, but you know what I mean. You're not just running, sprinting around, asking for the ball. What you've done there is simply move away from the ball. Put the number 10 in the predicament. Are you going to follow? Because if you are going to follow me, my centre-back can just step and drive with the ball. But if you are going to not follow me and step to the ball, then I could even receive the ball in this gap to turn and play forward. And guess what? If the number 9 blocks you off, it's a quick transfer out to the keeper, out to this centre-back who can aggressively drive forward. So whatever happens in this scenario, it's a 4v2. And that starts from you moving away from the ball and not putting pressure on your centre-backs, not suffocating their space. And then if the opposition wants to sit back in a very compact mid to low block in the 4-4-2 system, just like this, now your aim is to create that back three with the two centre-backs and push your full-backs higher. What that would do is get your wingers to play inside in these pockets here, and then it's a 3v2 scenario here. You can create wide combinations as well with your 8s and 10s working together as a double pivot. So you have to recognise, as I just said, you're the heartbeat of the team. If you're playing against a team that like to play in a 4-4-2 mid to low block, what are you going to do? Are you going to stand there and complain after the game and say, I'm not getting on the ball? Or are you going to take initiative and say, I'm going to drop, creating a back three? I could receive the ball here, the 10 could press me, the 9 could block off this pass, and then there could be a vertical line breaking pass straight into my 9 who can set the 10, and then we can play forward into this 2v1 situation, but not to feet necessarily, in behind into this space, and then we can hit the box. And that starts from you taking ownership, reading the game, interpreting the game. Or if that line breaking pass into the striker isn't on, it could be these little passes into the 10. Yes, they have pressure. If the opposition 10 follows the ball, you receive the ball, quickly play out to the left-sided centre-back who can step with the ball. And then notice we have a 2v1 here. We have a situation where the 8 can move away, drag this 8 with them, and then the 9 could drop in here. Or we have these 2v1 overloads on the far side where there could be this type of ball in behind into that space right there. But that starts once again from you taking initiative, dictating the play, because you're the heartbeat of the team. If the ball is out here with your fullback, with the winger pressing the fullback, you're not sprinting to the ball, you're simply shuffling a couple of yards left and right to potentially be the option to receive the ball here, behind that line of the 9 and the 10, so you can turn and play to this side of the pitch. You don't want to receive the ball in this triangle because as you receive it, you're going to have pressure. What you want to do is step outside. If the 10 stays very close to you, your fullback has a passing option into the 8. And then yes, they have the pressure, and then this is where you spin into that space that you've created to support under the ball because your 8 has pressure. And by that time, if you've spun into that space, now the 10 is chasing you here. If the 8 sets you, you can take a touch forward, and now the 10 is behind you. And now you can play forward. In the duration of that, the 3 could be making this forward run, being very direct, being very aggressive. The 7 could be in this pocket of space here, and now you could slide in the 3, or you can play the 7 on the back foot, creating this 2v1, and then the 7 could play in behind into the number 3, and then your 11, 9, 10 are aggressively hitting the box for a goal scoring opportunity. But that once again all comes from you making the right movements, not getting drawn to the ball, staying away. And then if you don't get that ball in that phase of play, as we just discussed, if the ball goes into the 10, your job's not done. You're spinning, supporting underneath, supporting your number 8 who has pressure, and then that's it. You can receive a set. If it's very tight in here and you can't play through this space, well, guess what? If you can open up your body shape, look at this much space right here to transfer the ball to the right side of centre-back who can take one big touch forward and drive into that open space. And then, as we just spoke about, there's a 2v1 on the far side. Or we can find the 10 with a line breaking pass in between the lines who can receive the ball in tight spaces on the back foot and then slide in passes into the number 9 or into the 7 into that space right there. Or just drive at the defence while the defence are backtracking and then just creating chaos.